Today we're diving into AnonSurf, an incredible tool that comes pre-installed inside of Parrot OS that is designed to keep your online activity anonymous by routing your traffic through the Tor network and securing your connections. AnonSurf comes pre-installed in both the Home Edition as well as the Security Edition of Parrot OS. This is great for privacy-conscious users, journalists, activists, or anyone who simply wants to obscure their digital footprint. Tor has been very good to many people, and I think that we should continue to support it. Alright, so just to give you some context, I am running Parrot OS Security Edition. I'm doing so inside of VirtualBox running on my Ubuntu Linux host operating system. I have done videos on this. If you are not sure what to do to get to this point, go reference those videos. I have shown you how you can get VirtualBox up and running on Linux. I have also shown you how you can install Parrot Security inside of VirtualBox. Now the tool that we're going to be looking at today is called AnonSurf. It's a very nice little utility. There is a GUI as well as a command line version, and on this channel we love to do all things from the command line, so of course we are going to take a close look at that. I have to mention, since we are looking at Parrot OS, while I am running this inside of VirtualBox, I have been known to also run Parrot OS on a USB stick, as the same with Kali Linux. I love to run Linux operating systems off of USB sticks, and if you are interested in doing the same, on the YouTube homepage for Fresh Forensics by Douglas Habian, you can come up to the top. Underneath the description you have my various links, and one of those links is for the Fresh Forensics store. But one of the things that I offer through my Fresh Forensics store is the Parrot OS Security Live USB Portable Red Team and Privacy Toolkit. I sell USB sticks in 3 different sizes: 32, 64 gig, and 128 gigabytes. And these USB sticks are running Parrot OS just like you see in this video today, with the same arsenal of tools. And I have also pre-configured encrypted persistence. So I've taken all the work out of getting this up and running and getting it properly working on a USB stick with encrypted persistence, so that the configuration changes that you make and the things that you do inside of the system stay secure, even if you lose the USB stick or it is stolen. So if you're interested in that, go check out my Fresh Forensics store. Okay, so we are back inside of Parrot OS, our VirtualBox image, Security Edition. I'm going to open up a terminal, and if I cat out the contents of the Etsy OS release file, we are running Parrot Security version 6.4, codename Lori. I do a witch on AnonSurf. We get back its location, which is in user bin AnonSurf. There is also a man page for AnonSurf that we can access by running man followed by AnonSurf. I'll pull up the man page. It is described as an anonymization toolkit for Parrot Security OS. Here is the usage: AnonSurf followed by various commands. This is used to set up a Tor proxy to route all traffic through Tor. So this wonderful utility allows us to do things such as start, stop, and restart AnonSurf. You can check the current Tor status. You can change your ID by restarting to switch Tor nodes. You can check your public IP. You can also enable or disable AnonSurf at boot as a system service. When you start it up, it will use BleachBit to kill dangerous applications such as Chrome, Skype, Thunderbird, Firefox, etc. It will create a system daemon starting Tor ProxyGate. It will disable  as IPv6 may reveal permanent MAC addresses. It routes all internet packets through Tor, and it also routes all DNS through Tor. I'm going to pull up the documentation page for Parrot OS, specifically the tools section. And straight from the documentation page from Parrot OS, AnonSurf is Parrot's anonymous mode wrapper to force connections through Tor. It is written in the NIM language, and it uses GTK libraries so it can be used via a graphical interface as well as a command line interface. It is pre-installed on both main editions, Home and Security, and it can be started from the Parrot menu by going to Applications and then Privacy. We can also start it from the command line. Okay, so if we come up here to the upper left and click on Applications, inside of the Privacy menu, we're going to see AnonSurf, and then we have the AnonSurf GUI. So we're going to navigate to Applications, Privacy, AnonSurf, and finally AnonSurf GUI. This will start up the AnonSurf GUI. We are presented with a small box. We're not able to make this any bigger than it is. It's a very simple GUI. So we're going to click Start, and this will activate AnonSurf. But before I do that, I'm going to open up the terminal. And with the default installation of Parrot OS Security inside of VirtualBox, it does not come with ifconfig, neither iwconfig, but it does have IPA. So by running IPA, we're able to get back information on our network interfaces as well as IP addresses. And I do have a connection to the internet. I can verify that by running the ping command. Okay, so if you want to get access to the AnonSurf GUI, it's very simple. You're going to come up here to the upper left, click on the Applications menu, followed by Privacy, AnonSurf, and AnonSurf GUI. That will open up the AnonSurf GUI. It's a very small GUI. I can't make this any bigger, but it gives us a couple simple options. If we want to start up AnonSurf, we just click Start. Before I do that, we're going to go to the command line. And now AnonSurf, it functions with a service that runs in the background. We can get the status of various services and daemons running on our system by running sudo service followed by the name of that service and status. So for example, if I run sudo service followed by Tor and status, we'll get the current status of Tor. It is inactive, it is not running. Likewise, we can run sudo service AnonSurf D followed by status. So this is the AnonSurf daemon service. Currently it is inactive as well as disabled. Disabled means that when you reboot the system, it will not be active, it will not run. We're able to get some information back from the logs and the current status of the daemon. So we're going to leave that running and we're going to click on Start. We're presented with another very small GUI, and we are able to kill the processes and remove the cache using BleachBit. So we're going to go ahead and click Kill. You can see that AnonSurf has been activated. And now if I rerun that service command, we see that the AnonSurf daemon service is now active. It is running. And here are some of the various logs that pertain to this daemon. So it is allowing only Tor to browse in ClearNet. It's redirecting DNS traffic through Tor. It has configured the IP tables rules to route all traffic through Tor. It has disabled IPv6 So you are able to basically get confirmation of some of the changes that are taking place on the back end, which is very nice. So now that AnonSurf is running, we can click on My IP, and that should display your connection to the Tor node, and it should give you your IP address. For some reason, it's not doing that. That's the way that it used to work. So we don't have that functionality, but that's okay because we can just go to the command line and we can run curl. I'll run curl on ifconfig.me, and that will give me my IP address. Sometimes you will be blocked from this, so if it doesn't work, you may have to curl a different site, or just give it a few seconds and rerun the curl command. So by running curl on ifconfig.me, we are able to get the public IP address, which should be an IP address over Tor. Now by clicking on change ID, that should effectively allow me to reroute my traffic through another node and give me a new IP address over Tor. Now for some reason, when I click on this, I do get an error message, and it says that we have the wrong length on the authentication cookie. But with that being said, if I come back over here to the terminal and I rerun that curl command, we do have a different IP address. But by far the coolest thing about the AnonSurf GUI is if you come over here and click on Tor status, it will open up this separate terminal. And inside of this terminal, we have an ncurses based menu. And we have a little bit of functionality, so we can scroll through different tabs inside of this ncurses based menu. And just from the standpoint of aesthetics, this is just a very, to be honest, this is a very cool terminal that you have up and running in the background when you're doing whatever it is that you're doing on the system. It looks cool. Nothing wrong with that, right? If we're not hackers, it's always nice to at least look like we are. This is one of those things where if you have it running, people are going to be like, you know, what is that? That's kind of interesting, right? What is going on there? So you basically are able to get live information back. We're receiving information pertaining to the bandwidth, specifically the download as well as the upload. It's updated in real time. And if you look at this little section right here, it might be hard to see, but it says page, and we have 5 different pages. Currently we're in page 1. I can navigate through the pages with my right and left arrows on my keyboard. So this is the second page, and this will actually show you specifics on the connections. We can scroll down. So here is one of the Tor circuits, and each circuit consists of 3 separate connections. You have the guard, the middle, and the end. And you're able to see all that information, including the IP addresses. Now if we scroll over to the next tab, this is for Tor configuration. We can also scroll down, and it will give you a description of each one of these settings. So there are a lot of different settings that you can take a look at, including the very well-known hidden service directory. But we are not going to go into any of that. Now if we scroll over yet again, here is the Tor configuration file located at etc torrc. It's a very important file when we are speaking about making configuration changes with Tor. And if we scroll over once more, we are on the 5th page. This is the control interpreter. And if we want to use this panel, then we have to press enter. Alright, so that is the AnonSurf GUI. It is very cool. But on this channel, we like to do things from the command line whenever possible. And usually there's going to be more power and control in whatever you do from the command line as opposed to the GUI. So with AnonSurf, we do have a command line version. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. First, we are going to reverse this process, and we're going to click on stop. And once again, we're going to click on kill. And we have now stopped and deactivated the AnonSurf GUI. And we will close out of that. If I go back to the terminal, I will rerun sudo service AnonSurf D followed by status. And we're able to confirm that the daemon service was stopped, everything was deactivated, and our DNS as well as the IP tables rules for the system have been restored, and we also have restored IPv6. Okay, so now let's take a look at the AnonSurf CLI. Now we can get access to this from the command line by running AnonSurf. And there is a help menu. To access the help menu, you simply type help as opposed to -- help. That'll pull up the help menu. This is version 5.0.0, the command line interface for AnonSurf. Here is some information on the developers, Lorenzo, Lisetta, and Francesco. So big thanks to these individuals. Something that is often overlooked when we look at various tools as YouTube content creators. Always have to give thanks to the creators of these tools. I am not smart simply because I know how to read and follow instructions given to me in the documentation. The individuals who truly are smart are individuals such as these individuals right here, who have invested a great deal of time into creating these wonderful utilities that you and I are able to benefit from for free. It's amazing. I like how they have pointed out that it's maintained by this individual right here, as well as a huge amount of caffeine, Mountain Dew, and some GNU GPL version 3 stuff. That's hilarious. I like that. All right, so if we scroll a little further down, we have our usage. We have the syntax, very simple. AnonSurf followed by the options. Here are our options on the left-hand side in red, and a description of each option on the right-hand side in what looks to be teal. And it pretty much allows you to do everything that we were able to do from the GUI. So if we want to start the system-wide Tor transparent proxy, we can do so by running AnonSurf followed by start. We'll do Y for yes to kill dangerous apps. AnonSurf has started. Our traffic is now being routed through Tor. So I can run AnonSurf and I can tab, and it will pull up the options. We'll show the current status of the connection under the Tor proxy by running AnonSurf with status. And that's going to pull up that same ncurses based screen that we saw previously, except we actually are able to adjust and manipulate the size, whereas we weren't able to do so from the GUI. Yet another example that when you are doing things from the command line, you're always going to have more power, more control, more granularity if you are doing it from the command line as opposed to the GUI. All right, so we can maximize this screen, and Control Shift and plus will increase the size of the font. Now it says right here I can press N for a new identity. We are now building these circuits, and there we go. So we're getting real-time information back on our download and upload bandwidth speeds. And once again, by using the left and right arrow keys, we can go through the various pages of this menu. Here are all of our connections. Each circuit consisting of the guard, the middle, and the end. Now if I press H, that'll actually pull up a small help menu. And if we continue to scroll over, once again, here is the Tor configuration page. We can scroll through that. Here's the Tor configuration file. And finally, the control interpreter, which I don't really know how to use, so I'm going to leave that alone. So I'll do Q for quit. And now we are back to the command line. Now if I want to check the public IP address, I can do so by running AnonSurf followed by my IP. And we are given the current public IP address, and we are under the Tor network. So let's say that we want to change our identity on the Tor network randomly. It's very simple to do so. We simply run AnonSurf followed by change ID, and we now should have a new identity from Tor. So let's go ahead and rerun AnonSurf my IP. We want to verify that the IP address has been changed, and it has successfully been changed. It was 185.195. Now we can see that it is 45.84, etc. and so forth. So everything does appear to be working correctly. I really like this. I would prefer to use the AnonSurf CLI as opposed to the GUI any day. I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. What do you think about AnonSurf? What do you think about the GUI? Do you prefer the CLI over the GUI? Can you see yourself using AnonSurf? I'm going to go ahead and run AnonSurf followed by stop so that we can return to the ClearNet. And now if I run AnonSurf followed by status, we are no longer under the protection of the Tor network. So be careful what you do on the internet. The internet is a bad place. I am very curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this application. What do you think of AnonSurf GUI? What do you think of the CLI? Do you think that you would use this? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you have not done so already, on the homepage for my channel, there is this button. It's white, and in the middle, it says subscribe. That will allow you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button right now. Right now. What a great way to support what I'm doing and get my content out to more people. If you knew how hard my life was, if you knew what I had to go through to get to this point, just to be able to get content out to you guys, you would hit that subscribe button. As always, keep learning and
stay fresh.
We'll see you in the next video.